What? Ain't nobody do no damn now.
Go right now.
Good morning, Michigan City High School. Today is January 30th, 2023, and here are your morning
And I'm
announcements.
Kayla Campbell, and here are your morning announcements. Mr. Browning, one of MCHS's assistant principals, would like to help MCAS students get a better perspective of the world and have them see things they've never seen before.
Browning is initiating the change that he wants to see, and he would like to begin by doing international field trips for students in grades from freshman all the way to 11th grade.
We would love to take students to England next summer and allow them to see London, Stonehenge, Stratford, and Oxford on a 9-day trip, allowing students to travel to faraway places. A second trip is planned for spring break of next year for Costa Rica.
Browning and the MCHS hosted a parent and guardian meeting for people interested on January 26th. Thank you, Mr. Browning.
Attention all seniors. This year, the yearbook staff is including senior quotes under each senior's school photo. Please check your email and fill out the form to have your quote included. Please keep in mind, all responses will be reviewed prior to printing and must be appropriate.
MCHS students, don't forget to place your orders in the care closet online through the MCHS webpage or the flyers around the school with the QR code. If you need any personal hygiene items such as shampoo, toothpaste, hairbrush, soap, and or deodorant, please complete your order and use a 4-digit code for pickup. Orders will be picked up in the open door or the front office. And these are your morning announcements. Have a great day, Wolves.
Good morning, MCHS. I'm Giovanni Farmer, and today I'm here with one of our assistant principals, Mr. Browning. And thank you for being here today. We know you're a very busy man. And I just wanted to know what inspired you to start the international trips.
Giovanni, first of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. With this, there's one thing I regret is I wish that as an 18, 17-year-old, I would have got to see a little more of the world. And that's something that when you get to see whether Europe or Central America or Asia, you get to see, you get better perspective. And I would highly recommend, where you're going to go is you'll notice that there's similarities and there's differences, and it doesn't matter about different cultures, or we all kind of do things very similar. So that would be like my motivation for getting these trips off the ground, and we are really excited about next summer would be an England trip that is planned for freshmen through juniors. And then also next spring break, we're planning a trip to Costa Rica, which is going to focus more on the wildlife aspect. So we got trips coming, hopefully in the next few years, we're going to have trips planned to, countries like Italy, Japan, Australia. And that's something that we want to get Michigan City, this community, involved.
I think that's great, and what you're trying to do for the kids it's very amazing. I would like to know, if for any of the kids who would like to join these trips, what's the next step for them to be a part of it?
January 26th, next Thursday, January 26th, 6 p.m., we're going to have information about Costa Rica and about England that families should know about. That would include financial information, passport information, different stuff that you would need to know. So we'll have stuff sent out throughout the district. So you will. We can't wait to see you on next Thursday.
All right. So that's all, folks. Thank you, Mr. Browning, for coming in today. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep. And on to our next.
Good morning, Michigan City High School. I'm Antoine Smith, and today I'm here with Mr. Melendez for Unpacking the Pack. And we're going to be asking you a few questions. Are you ready to start?
Sure.
All right. So I believe that education is very important to you. So we're going to start off with, where did you graduate from?
So I am born and raised in Michigan City. I went to Marsh Elementary, went to Krieger for 1 year, and then that's when our school system changed to Elston being 6th, 7th, and 8th grade instead of just being 8th and 9th grade.
Right.
And then I came up here to the high school and graduated from here in 2010. And that makes me 30 years old. I turn 31 next month, so I am not 40. Children, I am not 40 or 50. I am 30.
So I also heard that Miss Fargo was one of your principals. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, back at Elston, Miss Fargo was my assistant principal. We had 3 different principals at Elston. Karen Sue Robinson,
Right.
Miss Fargo, Miss Jamison, Mr. Freidemaker. So we had some principals because, you know, at Elston we got in a little bit of trouble. It was known as the rowdy school out of Krieger, Elston, and Barker. But
Y'all was bad in school.
we're a bad school, but I mean, those are stories for another day. But when I remember, what was it, 7th grade, we had to, you know, in middle school you're on 2 teams. Our team was so bad that they made only 1 class of boys and girls mixed. Everybody else was all boys in one room and all girls, and we had a couple of sections of those, and it was all based off your grades.
Dang. So I heard that after you graduated from high school, you took a trip to China. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So after high school, I went to Grace College where I studied youth ministry and web design.
Okay.
I graduated from there in 2014. 2015, I moved back to Michigan City. I had some friends that were raising money to go to China. And I was like, okay, tell me more about this. And so they did. Then I was like, you know what, that sounds like something I want to do. Because I couldn't find my footing, and after my undergraduate, I went to the University of Denver for my master's degree. So in 2016, I actually landed with that company a position, so I went to China, and I lived in China from 2016 to 2018. And it was one of the best times of my life. I still talk to my former students from there. Pictures will pop up on my phone, on my computer, of just showing those memories. One thing is, it was Christmas time, and I'm in the mall with one of my teammates, and we're walking around, and there was a photo shoot happening. A girl, just a Chinese model, getting pictures taken, and she was laying on a rail like this. So me being who I am, I just laid down on the rail and just stared at her. She came over to me, put her head right next to mine, and I put my head there, and so I have a picture of it, of her photographer taking a picture of me, while my friend is taking a picture of me and her, just like staring like into each other's eyes. And as a foreigner in China, you're always the center of attention. So when I was in McDonald's, I literally had people standing like this watching me eat French fries, because in their culture, they don't see, they just see me as a white person, as a foreigner, so it's different from them. And so they want to see, how do I eat? Do I eat the same way they do? Like, everything I did was like mind-blowing to them, even though it was the same thing.
Right. So can you tell us a little bit about your personal life?
My personal life. I'm the youngest of 6. I'm engaged, so I get married in June. So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I like coffee. I like Demon Slayer. So
Me too. Coffee mug right here.
Coffee mug with little hearts.
Yeah.
But I like technology. I teach obviously computer science, graphic design here, so I like that realm. I stay busy. I have a beautiful 7-year-old cat. She is my life. I love her. My little Stinky. That's her name, Stinky.
That's your cat's name, Stinky?
Stinky, yeah.
Does she stink?
So when I got her as a kitten, she would, you know how cats are, they would walk all over you. Well, she would walk on my chest when I'm just sitting and whatnot, turn around and like fart when she was a kitten. and they stunk. So I called her Stinky.
Okay.
So that's how she got her name. And now, but we call her Stink, Stinkers, Stinky, whatever we decide on that day, but she knows all of them.
No, okay. So can you go into a little bit more depth about the clubs and sports that you run?
Yeah, so when I started here in 2018 at the high school, I actually started as a computer tech. So you know Dylan that walks around that helps with like the Chromebooks and all that?
Yeah.
That was my job for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So when I moved back from China, I was looking for a job and I was like, all right, maybe I'm done teaching. And so I got a job here at the school systems, working at the high school in the tech. And then Miss Keto actually saw me and we were catching up. And she's like, hey, we just had an art teacher resign. And do you know graphic design? I'm like, yes, I do. So had an interview with the principal at that time, got hired. So I was only working as a tech for 2 weeks, then started teaching.
Okay.
One day after school, I hear some kids and they're like, hey, we need somebody to sit with us in the auditorium to watch a movie. It was the anime club, and I was like, I didn't even know we had an anime club, because we didn't when I was a student here, because you know, there's that stigma of like, if you like anime, you're weird, but you know what? Embrace the weirdness, I
Right.
say. So I sat with them and watched it, and then I just basically integrated myself into the anime club, and then now I am leading up the anime club. And then last year, Miss Stark asked me if I wanted to do esports, and I was like, no, I didn't want to do esports last year. I just was too busy with teaching and all this. This past summer, I was in training at PNW, met a esports coach from Hobart, and he was like, hey, you should really do this. He was like, it's a great time. I was like, all right. So I sent an email, and then they're like, sure, take it over. So I do esports now every day, Monday through Thursday. That's not every day, but Monday through Thursday until 5. So, and we've placed 3rd place for our Smash Bros. We're doing really well. We just started our spring split, and we're having state finals at Ball State in April. So we're looking forward to that.
So how do you feel about coming back to MCHS and teaching?
So the funny thing is, a lot of the teachers that I had, you guys still have. So do you want me to name off some of my teachers that I had here?
Yeah.
I had Mr. Jasicki.
Okay.
I had Miss Stark. I had Mr. Richards in the social studies. I had Miss Freitag for econ. Who else did I have? I had Mr. Bremer, but not the Mr. Bremer you know. His dad actually was my teacher.
His dad was like...
His dad. Yep, his dad was a fabulous social studies teacher. I took sociology with him, psychology with him, U.S. history with him. He made learning fun.
Right.
And that's one thing I like to do, is try to make learning fun for people. So I can kind of credit me wanting to kind of teach to Mr. Bremer, Norm Bremer, not Mr. Bo Bremer, but Norm Bremer. And then also, I'm trying to think of everybody else. Math teachers, there's no math teachers that are here they're gone now, but English teachers, I think Miss Stewart, Miss Meyer, and Miss Chastain were teachers here, but I never had any of them. So a lot of these teachers that are still in the building were here when I was a student 13 years ago. So I did have a lot of the same teachers you guys do have.
How did it feel like working with them now? Like,
It's different. It's different because when I grew up, I always grew up with calling everybody Mr. and Mrs.
Right.
Yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. And so transitioning from calling them like Miss Westfall in the office, she told me on one of my first days here, she was like, don't call me Miss Westfall, call me Joyce. And I'm like, okay. So it's that kind of transition of not seeing them anymore as over here above me, but actually that we're equal, and now I can call them by their first name. So that's a weird change. And I think I'm still getting over that almost 5 years later. I'm still working at it. Like, I call Miss Fargo. It feels weird to call her Kelly.
Right.
So it's just weird to call people by their first name if I've known them as a student in that role.
Exactly. All right, thank you for Mr. Melendez for coming for this interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You didn't drink anything out oh yeah, when in doubt, pinky out. We learned that from Patrick and SpongeBob. Let's go.
My heart mug.
Mm-hmm. When in doubt, pinky out. On to the next segment.
Here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like, here comes the, here comes the.
This is Austin Decker with Wolves Den.
This is Austin Decker.
This is Austin Decker with the Wolves Den Sports. MCHS had a busy 2 weeks with sports, so I'd like to do a photo recap to catch you all up. We actually have some exciting pictures from the following Michigan City High School sports: gymnastics, swim and dive, wrestling, and boys and girls basketball. Of course, our big basketball games on January 20th were against our longtime rivals, the LaPorte Slicers. Our pep session put on by the student council led by Candy Fear got everyone ready to cheer, jump, and shout. Here are the junior ROTC color guard bringing us all together for the singing of our national anthem. Confetti flew as the cheerleaders led us in some awesome cheer competitions where apparently the sophomores showed the most spirit. All of this school spirit now brings us to our games. We started with our girls varsity basketball team going up against the Slicers. The final score of the girls varsity game was 52-20. Ramira Anderson, number 2, was so fast on the court, helped out by her teammates. Moving on into the January 20th, 2023 night was watching our boys varsity basketball team hoop it out against LaPorte. Of course, this video will take you back to how the boys varsity team got it started that night. The first photo shows Alan Briggs dunking on all the LaPorte haters. Check out our MCHS student section who showed up and showed out. Now this photo shows our very own Jimmy Hodges running the offense while being guarded by number 14 of LaPorte. The second sport we're going to recap is the girls gymnastics. Here's a photo of McKaylin Jenks on the beam doing a flip. The next team we will be recapping is wrestling. Our very own Jack Barnes pinned his opponent in this match. In this shot, Jai Tucker is escaping from the referee down position. Here are some extra photos of Jai putting his all into this match. You should know the girls basketball team have won 2 of their last 3 games, and here are a couple of pictures that definitely show their skill. The girls shine brightly at another game night besides their win against LaPorte on Friday. Here's Tamaya Moore shooting a free throw. Here's Ramira Anderson shooting a jump shot against Culver Academy. Everyone, come out and support the boys basketball game on Thursday, February 2nd against Chesterton. JV starts at 5:30 and varsity follows. You guys know I'll be there. This is Austin Decker signing out from Wolves Den.
Is it hot? Is it cold? What degree? Spill the tea. Turn it on. Cook it up.
All right, the question is, can you name 3 songs right now in 5 seconds of your favorite artist?
Lil Baby, Right On, In a Minute, and Stand on It.
All right, who we with?
Vaughn, pleasure to finally be on here.
All right, Vaughn, all right. So the question for today is, name 3 songs in 5 seconds of your favorite artist.
Uzi, For Fun, Flex Up, and Just Wanna Rock.
Okay. What's your dream job?
What's it like? I don't know. Maybe like a chef, detective. I don't know. Maybe a lawyer.
A chef? Like, you be whipping it up in the kitchen like that?
I don't do it for real, but like, it would be fun to know how to cook,
Right.
Someone, bro.
Right, okay.